Here we have the new Sony A7R3 camera. This camera brings a few important changes in comparison to the previous A7 cameras, but before I show you those changes, in case you're not familiar with Intelli-G, this device allows you to map controls on a standard RC system such as this one to the functionality on your camera. So if, for instance, this switch here is mapped to aperture, if I flip it, you can see the aperture changing because this remote talks to this receiver, which is connected to the device, which in turn is connected to the camera over Wi-Fi. Now back to the A7R3. The most important change that was brought not only by this camera but also by the other new cameras that were released by Sony, the A9 and also the RX10 Mark IV, is the fact that you no longer need to install any special app for remote controlling the camera. So here we have in the network menu, we have this feature control with smartphone, and you can use this to set up your camera's Wi-Fi as we have it here. This icon here indicates that we now have a device connected to the camera. And one neat thing is the fact that you can, once you configure this for the first time, there is a separate video to show you how to connect Intelli-G to your camera for the first time. Please watch that. And once you do that, on this new generation of cameras, you have this feature here, always connected. So if you have this on, this means that every time you power on your camera, the Wi-Fi is automatically enabled. So if you also power on your Intelli-G device, they will automatically connect and you no longer have to run anything special for that. Now, because the Wi-Fi functionality is built into the camera's firmware, this means that we can now use all camera features while shooting over Wi-Fi. For instance, we are now in PP8, which is S-Log profile, an S-Log profile. So if you want to use S-Log or Cine, previously you were not able to do so while using Wi-Fi because all picture profiles were disabled. But now they are available at the same time with Wi-Fi. So if I start recording here, you can see that it is now shooting with picture profile 8. And hopefully I am pretty confident that this new way of remote controlling the Sony cameras will be brought also to the new cameras that Sony will release, like maybe the A7R3. And this means that you will no longer need to use our special USB multi-port cable, which was a pain to use. And if you're buying Intelli-G and you have such a new gen camera, make sure you ask us before you also purchase the USB cable, because you might not need it any longer.